Welcome to the Raby Estate. My name's Amanda and I'm going to take you on a tour of this weekend's estate sale where rain or shine, we'll be inside. But first, I want to address parking. The estate has a nice wide driveway, but if we get more than a couple vehicles in here, we're not going to be able to turn them around or navigate them. So this weekend, the driveway will be used strictly for loading bigger items or a large purchase. Vehicles will be able to pull over on either side of the road. We do just ask that you're respectful and please do not block other people's driveways throughout the weekend. There is a public park located just behind these houses that will have some parking and some open fields and spaces that would be easy to park. You will just have to walk just a little ways to get to this sale. So this sale will not have designated handicap parking, so keep that in mind. You may want to come with a friend that can drop you off and go park, or come later in the day. Usually our really big rush of every estate sale is the first few hours after opening. Later in the day, the crowd kind of dwindles and you'll probably be able to get a closer parking place. All right, let's go inside. I do want to point out that this step is pretty steep. And I do not have a handrail there. Here in a minute, I'll show you a different access point that we'll have available this weekend. When we first come in the foyer, here is our checkout. We do have just a couple items for sale behind this. This will be the dining table. This does have 8 chairs. There's a couple more of them downstairs. This table is where the firearms will be located if you're coming for those. We do have the grandmother clock and the china hutch. And I'll show you here in a minute when we go around, you will be able to access that. But we will have 2 or 3 people here available for checkout. And then I will point out we have another box closet. These are always fun. These are just free boxes. You can grab them and load up your purchases, or when you're ready to check out, those can help you get items to your car. So those are what that is. We do have this gorgeous entry table. All the decor and pieces will be for sale on it as well. And the mirror, we are still working on getting everything priced. We do have some of our general signs hung up around the house. You know, a lot of your small unmarked stuff will be $2 at opening. But let's go on in through here. We do have just a couple of linen closets available. We've got those open. So there's towels and blankets, some holiday tablecloths and things like that. So we go into this first bedroom. This is our queen size bed, and we had a photo of that on our website and on Facebook. We've got it broke down so it'll be easier to get out of here, but you can still look at everything and see that. We have so many side tables and end tables at this sale. They're all real wood, nice pieces. Several lamps. This dresser in this first bedroom is where our Fenton lamps are located. And our uranium glass nesting bird is located in here. Lots of beautiful curios. Look at the little bluebirds. I thought those were adorable. We do have a table set up in here with more wonderful pieces. Like I said, I have lots of home decor pieces in this one. So if you're looking to change out or update some decor, we have lots of options. We do have books spread out in a few different places. Would make some good book stacks, or even just for reading and enjoying them. Lots of vases and pots. Underneath this table, I just have a couple of items. We have a few picture frames. We do have a box of pillar candles, and I have a couple of floral spreads here. And those are just empty boxes. But yeah, we're trying to keep everything up in this one as best we can. I do have a couple more cabinets and side tables here. This is the really beautiful Ashley furniture. Again, more lamps. I do have an ironing board here and a rug tucked up here. We do have a large comforter in a bag here. Sitting chair. This closet has a lot of pillows, like throw pillows. I do have a comforter and sham set on the table in here. There's a couple of bed pillows tucked in there, and then I do have a few coats and jackets in this closet. And again, some more decor pieces up top. We do have a shelf in here with some goodies on it. Kind of show you those. Little trivets and some boxes. Ceramic bunny and a little squirrel tray. All of these will be available. Another lamp and another table. Like I said, we have so many little side tables to offer in this one. And then this is the hallway where we came in, and then this is a bathroom. We're going to leave it open so traffic can flow just a little bit easier. We do not have much in here. We have a few little things, some brass candlesticks and some decor here on the counter, but mostly this will be just a breezeway to get through. I do have this artificial plant in here too. So this is mostly just a breezeway into this other bedroom. This is an awesome day bed, and I will point out, it's one of those that also has, so it has the bed on top and then the bed that pulls out. So nice if you have grandkids coming over or kids that have friends stay over, you have another bed tucked under there. We do have a bookshelf in here with a few books, an encyclopedia set, things like that. Let's turn back around. I do have an office chair tucked up in here. If you need help getting that out, let us know. We just wanted to make sure the bulk of the room was open for people to be able to navigate. And this is like a secretary armoire. So it opens up and it's got your computer desk and things pull out and stuff. So you can tuck away some of that or leave it open if that works for you. We do have a printer up here. Here's one of our little roosters. This one is like a straw macrame one. And then in here we have some kitchen overflow, and you'll kind of see why we don't have it all in the kitchen here in a minute. It's a beautiful kitchen, but I've got to keep alleyways open for people to walk and navigate. So in here is where we have a lot of our pots and pans, some cake pans, things like that. So those will all be located in here. We figured it would be, if this is what you're after, this is where you'll find those. And then underneath here, I just have some paper goods. So some foil pans, some saran wrap, paper cups and plates, things like that. Those are located under there. There is a small filing cabinet here. If anyone was interested, that'll be available as well. We're gonna go back out into the hallway, and I'm gonna try and turn around. And here is another linen closet. So I have more blankets. This is where I have a lot of sheet sets. There's a few throw pillows, throw blankets, things like that are located in this closet. And then we're gonna back up and go back out into our living area. This beautiful piece is for sale as well, and we're willing to sell it as a whole piece or even separate it if that fits your space better. So you could have just the center console, or you could even just get the two sides if you wanted. I did want to point out, it does kind of have a cool feature. So these actually slide out for storage or your movies and things like that. So in addition to the cabinets, and the top one does the same. And then it does have doors that shut to close the TV in as well. We do have a few furniture pieces in here. We have this gorgeous round coffee table, and it's got drawers all the way around it. It's a fun piece. We do have one of our sofas in here. This is the cream or beige colored sofa. And then I do have a sitting chair in here with an ottoman. This is one of the ones we have to offer. We have another one similar to that, just a little bit different color scheme. This beautiful picture is for sale as well. And then this is our shopping cart area. These baskets are for where you can put stuff to hold it while you're shopping, and then we'll be able to check you out when you're done. Again, this is where we came in, and then this is our checkout station. And then it kind of makes a circle up here. This will take us around to some other bedrooms and out to the garage and downstairs. And then it also circles around. We'll just go this way through the kitchen. The door out onto the patio is going to be for emergency exit only. We do have a couple of patio pieces that we will bring up front the day of the sale. All right, here in the kitchen, we do have all kinds of wonderful pieces here on our table. We have some of our Tupperware, we have some of our tea sets. Here is where these El Dorado Spring Crocs are. If you saw me post those, I thought those were really cool. Custom made pieces. Here is the Pottery Barn bowl. We have some cutting boards, but I'm gonna turn around here. We also have another sitting chair. Here's another one of our dining tables. This one does not have leaves in it. It does have the 6 chairs that go with it. Kind of fits a smaller space. Here is a couple more of our roosters. We do have some false graph, and this can be sold by the set or by the piece. I do have a bar stool in here. And then we have emptied out all of the cabinets. The only ones that have things in them are open, which I think are just a couple here I'll point out. We do have some cookbooks and a microwave. We have a coffee pot and a toaster. Here we do have several drink glass sets. Here is some of our vintage Corningware. Just lots of little cups and bowls and dishes. Up here I wanted to point out, this is not Fiesta, it's a Nancy Calhoun, if I'm saying that correctly. It's really pretty. It's a little lighter weight than Fiesta, but it kind of reminds me of that. It's really pretty, made in Japan. The fridge is not for sale, that's staying with the house. Dishwasher, stove, things like that. Everything else out on the counters is available. We do have a few spices and things like that. We have lots of utensils. This gorgeous canister set. And then as we navigate here, we'll be in the hallway. This is where we initially came in. This is how we'll go downstairs here in a minute. And then there is more this way. So this will take us to the garage. We'll go there in a minute, but we're gonna hit this last corner bedroom. We'll come in here. This is where we'll have most of our jewelry. This is where the jewelry wardrobe is located. Several of our jewelry boxes, little small trinkets, cricket boxes, things like that. We do have lots of jewelry here. We have a few hanging, and then we have a lot in little bags like this, so you can dig through. All of these boxes are full. We thought people might want the boxes instead of us taking them out of them, so feel free to look through those. We do have the dresser drawers empty. This dresser will be available as well, and if you want it at the very beginning, it's not a problem. We can move all of this stuff and set a table up. We do have a matching set of chairs in here. These things do recline. They just don't rock. It's another little side table. And then I do have a mirror back here I wanted to point out. We kind of tucked it back there for safekeeping, but that is available. Here's a chest of drawers. It's a beautiful jar, a couple of pictures. I think this has a bunch of pocket knives in it. There's a couple little boot knives, a letter opener up here. We do have this brown leather recliner in here. I do have another bed frame kind of tucked up in here. If you're in the market for just a bed frame, we've got that. A couple of linens underneath. We have some pink depression pieces here. Lots of plates. These were kind of fun. So these look like a basket weave, kind of like a pottery piece. I do have a squirrel. I don't know if people really saw him. He's a little salt and pepper. He's really cute. Do have a few pieces here. And then we do have more items on this shelf as well. kind of show you. It's kind of dark in this corner, but I do have some wallets here. This is where the binoculars are located. It looks like we have the ammo shells. I'll probably move those over with the guns, but we'll have those on the table up front. A couple of things up here. Another really pretty lamp, an end table. And then I'm going to back up real quick and point out this beautiful armoire. Again, this is another entertainment armoire. So it has a TV, but then it also does have your drawers. And if I remember right, this is drawers as well. So could serve as a dresser and your TV cabinet. So, and then we do have a bathroom in through here with our closets. This will have a few more jewelry pieces. We have a few more pieces. They're a little bit better quality. We're getting priced, and those will be located in here. On the countertop, we just have a lot of the small little things that you know, come across in a house. All of these will be for sale. Just a little bit of everything. Handbag, and then we have a couple of closets. I'll try and show you. There's not a whole lot of room for a bunch of ladies in here at the same time, but I think a couple of you can fit in here and just kind of look through clothes. Our clothes are extra large. I'm seeing 16s, 18s, things like that. This is where we have a lot of clutches, little purses, and then up top we have handbags. If you need help getting some, let me know. They're all pretty light and right at the edge and easy to pull out. Here was our 3 Coach items, and then we have lots of other. I'm pretty sure we had like some Liz Claiborne and just some really beautiful pieces. So those will all be tucked up in this closet. We do have a shelf with shoes, and they are kind of all over the place on sizes. We have 9s, 10s, 11s. There may have even been some 7s. Like, it was just kind of all over the place, but there's some shoes here. And then we do have one more closet with some more clothes. We have just a couple of things up top. These were more like duffel bags that we had up top. We had just a little bit of men's items. So we have some coats and jackets and some slacks in here. And then we did kind of run out of room. There's a few denim jeans and things like that in here. But feel free to dig through those if that's something you're in the market for. And we'll go back out here into this room. And we're going to go ahead and go out to the garage before we head downstairs. And this is going to be one of our other ways in the house this weekend. If you need a little bit more of a sure footing or a handrail, I'll show you that. Here is our dryer and our washer and our stand-up freezer. However, as we plug that one in, it has not cooled down for us. So I'm not sure that that's actually working. We always kind of test things to make sure before we get started, and that one was not cooperating. All right, I do want to point out right here, it's a little clustered and cluttered. These items are going to be pulled out front into the driveway the day of the sale. So that's kind of why we have everything piled right here. This will actually be opened up and easier to come in and shop. But the riding mower, we do have a hose reel, we have a push mower, a trash can and a 2-wheeler, things like that. Those are all going to be pulled out. But I want to turn around and show you, because we will have this garage door open, weather permitting, as long as it's not really blowing and getting wild. So this will be a way in the house that has a little bit more evenly spaced steps and some handrails. If that is easier for you to get in the house, that is going to be an option. And then when you come in the garage, whether you come in through the garage or from the house, and we'll pull this out a little bit easier to see, but our wood lathe is under here. Here we have just some cleaning supplies and some cleaning rags, things like that that we've found in the house. We do have the air compressor, and it may be pulled just outside the doors the day of too. This is where we have our ladders located. We do have a Hoover vacuum. Here is our hand tools. So this is like rakes, shovels, some saws, things like that. We do have a few string trimmers in here. So those are all tucked up in this corner. This is where our pressure washer is. We have a couple of fuel cans and a shop vac. The table is full of all kinds of random hand tools, a couple of power tools. This is where we have a lot of our boxes. We are still going through. We're probably going to have some gallon bags, like grab bags with some tools. We'll put wrench sets and screwdrivers and things like that in a bag that'll just be easy to purchase. We're still working on a little bit of that, but it will pretty much look the same here, just be a little easier to shop. We do have a few things on the shelves up here, some extension cords. Definitely kind of want to dig through these, kind of show you. I think we had some drill bits, just kind of some miscellaneous. And then really up high, we put the really light stuff, like some coolers and some waterers and things like that. Here on the end of this table, I have the little chainsaw and a couple of leaf vacs. I'm pretty sure that hose goes to the pressure washer. So we'll probably put that over there with the pressure washer. Yeah, just kind of show you. We do have some peg hooks. Again, this bucket is just kind of full of some miscellaneous stuff. So feel free to dig. In here is where our cash register is located. This is fun. It's a vintage National and it does still work. So that's really fun. And then tucked up under here, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here. We'll have a sign to kind of point it out, but this is the snow blade shovel, or just the shovel in general, the blade for a lawnmower. And usually these are pretty universal. So that'll be here. I know that's kind of a specific niche, but we can help you get that dug out if that's something you're interested in. The sawhorses will probably go outside when we open the doors as well. The screens all stay with the house. They're just off right now, but the weather is getting nicer. They'll be wanting to put those on. There is a few things I guess I'll point out. Like I said, this is all going to go out the garage door. This will be a little bit easier to shop. We do have a couple of nice walkers with the chairs in them. And then we do have another little ottoman and some wooden rockers. I'll show you those a little better here in a minute. But we kind of staged this as some seating areas so you can test and check out some more furniture pieces we have to offer. We have these beautiful sitting chairs, and then I do have a couple of wooden bar stools back here. We do have a keyboard if you know someone in the market. And then there's a box underneath that'll go with it. It's got some music and a music stand. This is the other big overstuffed seating chair I wanted to point out. This one's kind of red. The one in the house is more green colors, but it does have an ottoman as well. So we've kind of got that tucked up behind there, but it does have a matching ottoman if you're in the market. Back here, I do have a beautiful piano bench, or just kind of like an entry table back here. And then we do have like a standing desk as well, I wanted to point out. We have this gorgeous bench. We have a camp stove and a little shop vac here. And then we have some really pretty stained glass pieces. I don't have these hanging because they do need a little bit of work. This needs resoldered on. And then the chains are a little missing on some of these, but there are some beautiful hanging stained glass that just need a little bit of work on their hanging. But those are really pretty. I wanted to point those out. And then these, I had lots of hearts on these the other day. These are so fun. So this is actually two separate chairs. But these are like a really pale pink, kind of mid-century modern, really fun sitting chairs. I do have another dresser out here. This one is a really pretty piece. I have two of these, and these are new sets. So what you see is what's in there. So if you're needing some new dishes, those are really pretty. And you can open the box and take a peek at them. But like I said, you can't really see a whole lot because they're sealed, but really pretty. Couple of wall hangings in here. These were some plates. This was like an Oneida, if I can remember how it opened. This is an Oneida set. And again, it may have some miscellaneous, but some pretty. You can check that out. I have another little entry table here. It's got a drawer in it. So that one's a really pretty piece. A couple of dog beds. Some pillows, a couple of clocks. Here is where all these cute little honeybee things are. Just thought these were so cute. Little honey containers and things like that. I have a couple of really large mirrors in here. So there's 2 of them here. Again, I have them kind of tucked back here for safekeeping, so hopefully they don't get knocked over. But those are here. A couple of bar stools. And then these funky, beautiful chairs. Kind of wild. And then this is another round coffee table. This one does not have drawers like the one in the living room does, but it's a really nice piece. And then we do have a little white little sofa sitting bench here. And then I'll get you a little bit better view of these wooden rockers. So this one's a little bit bigger. They're beautiful. It's solid. Handles, everything is attached really well on that one. And then this one's a little more vintage. It's got your mesh bottom, but it's still really, really tight. But both beautiful rockers. Those will be available. All right, we are back in the house from the garage, and I'm getting ready to take you downstairs and walk you through that. But I thought I would take a minute to talk about our scavenger hunt pieces. This is something really fun that we enjoy doing at our sales, and I will have an item upstairs and an item downstairs, and you'll be able to locate these by their scavenger hunt logo or sticker on the bottom of them. So upstairs, I'm going to have this little Precious Moments little plate, and it will have our scavenger hunt on it. So that will be somewhere upstairs. I will not hide it in a closed off cabinet or anything like that. It'll be out in the open, but it will be hopefully a little tricky to find. But if you find this, then you take it to the checkout when you're ready, and you'll get $10 off of your purchase with us this weekend. And then this item is what we're gonna do. So it's kind of like a pineapple pewter ashtray maybe, or a little trivet. You could put bracelets and things in it, but this one will have the sticker on it as well. This piece will be downstairs somewhere, so keep an eye out for it. Again, if you find it, you bring it to the checkout and you'll get $10 off of your purchase with us this weekend. All right, let's go downstairs. All right, when we first come downstairs, we're in kind of a family seating room. We do have a very vintage console TV if you're interested. We have a few lamps, and we do have a clock down here, and this 30-day clock does work. I just stopped it the other day because it was kind of noisy. We have more end tables down here, all kinds of varieties. You're sure to find one that fits your needs. Oh, looks like I have some movies in there. I probably need to go through that. We do have a really dark green sofa down here. This is a square coffee table. And then we do have, I'll point out, we do have a reclining chair over here, and then just an armchair here. We'll work our way that way in a minute, but I'm going to back up. But we do have a few things on this table. So if you saw my wooden centerpiece tray, that is here. This has some plates in it. This is like a new set dishes, and same with this. These more of our sealed dish sets, but those are in here. So yeah, there'll be a few things here. This was a really pretty piece. I don't know if I ever called this one out, but it's like an enameled stock pot. It's really pretty. Tucked up in our corner here, I just have lots of toys, so the kiddos can come hang out, and they can even just kind of play while you're shopping, or they might find them something they would like. I do have one of these. So they have the lamp and the side table and your magazine rack all built into one. That is down here. I have another side table here. Kind of has your writing pull out, and it's got drawers and a cabinet. It's a pretty piece as well. Another lamp. So we work our way in here. I do have kids' books as well. Kids might want to look through that. And then we kind of have, it kind of makes a circle again here, but we're going to take off this way and into this first bedroom. This is where the twin size bed is located. And then I have lots of furniture. We have a few linens down here, not a whole lot. These were moving blankets, and then just some of your felted blankets down here. I do have a little nightstand with a couple of drawers. We do have like a wooden rolling desk chair in here. And then this chair, it doesn't actually match or go with any of our other things. So there is just a chair if you're needing one. We do have a little shelf thing in here. We do have this little footstool or shoe rack to put at the end of your bed. You could put blankets on it. There is a gun rack. And then I do just have some furniture pieces in here. So this one is a desk with a shelf on it. This one has like a dresser, but also has the shelf on it. The little end table or nightstand. We do have a little cabinet here and a dresser with a mirror over here. And then all of these, like I said, are emptied out. We do just have a few items on here. We have a couple of digital cameras. These are some printable greeting cards. And then I did have down here, I did have some photo paper. So you could print photos on your computer. Those are kind of fun. And then if you saw the 007 set I had photoed, it's down here. But yeah, we have just a couple of books and little trivets and things like that on the shelves, but all the drawers have been emptied out. We do have a vintage stereo console, and it's got a couple of speakers that'll go with it. I do have a DVD VCR player down here. And then we have another box closet. So these boxes, you can, take one while you're down here shopping and kind of fill it. There are some smaller ones. Some of the bigger ones, we haven't decided yet if we're going to set like a checkout holding station down here as well. It might be needed. So some of these bigger ones may be identified as shopping baskets set out somewhere down here, but we're still trying to decide on that one. Then we'll kind of walk our way down here into the actual basement. So I'm just going to kind of pivot and show you, and then we'll go back and kind of talk about things. So when we come through this door, and then we have a whole bunch around here. And so then this is the door we just kind of walk through. So it kind of makes a full circle right here, down here into the unfinished part of the basement. We do have a bookshelf here. I have another really nice little table. And, I have a couple of wooden chairs I'll show you throughout. Like I had one in the bedroom, and I think I have a couple back here. If someone needed a small dining table space, just like a little breakfast nook thing, this might be a really cute piece with a couple of chairs that we have. Do have another TV. This was kind of their workout station, so I do have some of this available. If you're looking for a little bike or a treadmill, things like that, these will be available as well. And like here, this is what I was talking about. I have a couple of chairs that don't really go with our tables upstairs or really match any certain piece. So you may be able to snag a couple of chairs and like the smaller table and have just a little breakfast nook area. I do have a vintage high chair, metal filing cabinet, do have a lamp. And this one was kind of cool. I think it can plug in either way, but this one is like one you can use with a cigarette lighter. So maybe if you were out working on a car, kind of neat. This computer desk piece is also for sale. We do have another cash register down here. A couple of things, another VCR. Again, the screens, guys, are going to stay with the house. We do have another entry table piece down here. And this was another shop vac, if I remember right. Steam blaster. So it's new in the box, or in the box, has its original box. We just have a few things on here, a radio and a scale, and these were some sealed notebooks. But then I'm gonna back up around here and we're gonna work our way down these tables. I do wanna point out I have like what I call a garage fridge. So if you're in the market for a fridge that maybe isn't as appealing you'd want in your kitchen, but you need a functional fridge, we do have that down here and we'll make you a really good deal on it. Look at these little frogs. Little garden pieces. I did have a little cash box. If you're looking to have yard sales or something this summer, that might be a fun piece to grab. We did have just some office stuff, some pens and pencils here. And then we have lots of curios. So down here we had cabinets full of pieces to rotate throughout the seasons. There's a vintage coffee grinder, some flower vases. We do have some copper pieces, some really pretty pieces here. Just kind of give you an idea. Here we had some Bob Ross painting. This was kind of fun. And there's a couple of canvases here. But if you're a painter, there's a couple of, like I said, canvases you may be interested in. Again, more brass pieces. We have some candlesticks kind of spread out throughout a lot of the house. Little perfume bottle. Here is where I have another rooster. They're just kind of everywhere. Really pretty ceramic pieces. The vintage strainer. All right, it's gonna get a little darker as we go this way. I've got to replace those light bulbs so we're a little brighter this weekend, but it might get a little dark on us as we're going through here. I do have a couple of irons, and then I did have a chicken, a ceramic chicken as well. And then these are more brass candlesticks. All right, and it's getting a little dark. I may have to go around the other way and kind of show you this, but I do have like a floral arrangement here. I do have a couple of suitcases under here, even though you can't really see them. Let me see if I can turn around and adjust my settings just a little bit. See if we can brighten this up. A little bit. All right, like I said, I'll fix those light bulbs, but I do have a few oil lamps in here, and these ones had not been converted. So those are burning lamps. This was that vintage Nerf Goth thing is down here. I have a couple of bar stools here, and these you may have to try out that little breakfast nook table I was pointing out. It may fit a taller stool as well, and so a couple of these might be a nice option for that. Could have just another luggage piece in here. A couple of pieces tucked up in here. Again, we had some baskets and some florals in here. Another piece of luggage, a couple lamps that these two had been converted, so they'll take a light bulb. And a couple more benches. And I guess I could point out real quick, these chairs go with the formal dining upstairs, kind of behind the checkout. So those will be additional chairs. That dining table has 8 chairs in total. We will catch this stuff on our way back out of the basement, but I'm going to go over here, see if I can stand and get a little bit better light. All right, so in here we do have a couple of portable wardrobes that have a few clothing pieces in them. We've unzipped them so they'll be a little easier to shop, and I do have a really pretty comforter up here as well. I do have a couple of patio chairs, and there is a patio table under here, like a glass top. It's a metal table. If you're interested, we can help you clean it off. Right now I just have a bunch of the floral arrangements on it. So I have all seasons and colors of floral arrangements. Some are loose in bags, some are actually arrangements, so those are kind of pretty to look through. And then we have Christmas in here. So I know Christmas has passed, but some people love Christmas all year round, or if you would like some really good deals on Christmas out of season, we can make you some deals. So I have ornaments and Christmas lights and decor, and I didn't set a lot of this up because I know it is out of season and it may not be something that you're interested in right now. So feel free to dig. Like I said, I didn't set this out as well as I would in certain seasons, but it is available. It is all for sale. I do have a couple of Christmas trees. And now this piece is really cool, and this might be one to snag sooner than later, but I love this, and it's got like a really heavy base on it too, so, but kind of fun. Santa's mailbox. And then we come into more tools. Again, we are still working on setting some of this up just a little bit. We'll have hand tools bagged and easy for purchase, but we do have a lot of toolboxes, some metal ones. Some of the heavier ones we're leaving on the ground, but we will have a lot up here as well. I need to wait till the sump pump is done. We are thankful the sump pump is working though. We have had so much rain. All right, guys, these are a lot of fun. I don't know if you've ever used these or not. We use these all the time. They're like a hand forklift, so they help for moving furniture. So those are fun. Those are here. We use those a lot in what we do. I do have another light here, and we'll see. I may have to use that if I can't get that other light fixture going this weekend. I do have a table saw and a radial arm saw. And then here I do have some more. We have skill saws in here. Looks like I have a jigsaw in there as well. This is where we have our bench grinder. And then this is also a variation of a grinder. You put disc on here or sandpaper on here. You can file things down. You have some Thompson water seal, little things like that may be worth digging through. We do have some hardware and things like that we can make you a deal on. And again, we are going through this still just a little bit over the next couple of days to get it a little easier to shop, but this will be lots of tools. So if that's something you're interested in, down here is going to be a good place to look. We're going to get all the cabinets emptied out and brought up. So that is something we're still kind of working on, but I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea of what's down here. Like I said, we'll take all the wrenches and stuff and put them in a set and sell them that way. We do have a few more tools down here as far as like hand tools. I've got paint rollers like with extension poles, a couple of brooms, things like that down here. And then this is just all the internals to the house. None of that is for sale. And then here I do have another workbench, and so this surface will be full of things you can shop as well too. Like I said, we're working on getting them sorted and we're going to get them bagged up and priced. And so this will be full of hand tools and things like that. We may have a few things hanging up here as well for sale. I did want to point out, speaking of hanging, I do have a couple of these longer style wood clamps. Actually, several of them hanging down here. So those will be available as well. And then if we work our way back here, up here in this cubby hole, it's kind of a little dark too, but we do have a bunch of folding chairs and a couple, I think I have a couple of card tables, things like that. So if you're in the market for one of those, we do have a dressmaker sewing machine in a cabinet. And kind of my concept with anytime I have one of these is I will sell it with the cabinet or without the cabinet. So if you're interested in the machine but don't want the cabinet, don't let that stop you, let us know and we'll help you get it out. And you can have just the machine if you don't want the cabinet. We did find a couple of totes of some out of season clothes as well. So right now we don't really have closet space to hang them. So those are down here if you want to dig through them. We do have a couple of nice coolers. And this is more of those world books. I do have this, but this is the rest of the set, I'm pretty sure, to the world books that are upstairs. So, then we just have lots of glassware pieces. This is where that eagle wall hanging is, I pointed out. We have some silverware. We will have a little bit more silverware, flatware down here in bags. We were going through and finding out which ones were real silver and which ones were plated. So those will probably be down here as well too. And then some more vases and jars and trinkets. Thought this was cute. And then here was the little hand-blown little mouse. It's kind of cute. And that kind of brings us back through the whole basement. All right, guys, that concludes our walkthrough tour of the Raby estate sale that we're having this weekend, April 25th and April 26th. So Friday we'll be here from 12 p.m. until 7 p.m. at night, and then we'll reopen again on Saturday at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. We can't wait to see you.